GarrettG explains how NRG are going to get back to the top, women's carball gets cancelled, and Vitality are actually a good team. My name is Anton and you're watching This Week on Rocket League. This is of course the series where we take a look at all the crazy and stupid things that this game has had to offer during the past 7 days, and somehow this game never fails to surprise me.
Vasquez beaten away by Buffon. And then Ronaldo! Sensational!
But now let's check out what's been happening this week. The Women's Carball Championship has been paused as the current organizer of the league, the Kansas City Pioneers, cite financial reasons. The Pioneers, who took over the running of the league in late 2021, claimed that they've had to pause the league due to a lack of sponsors. A lot of people were of course not happy with this decision. The league has been rapidly growing, with many big orgs joining, like Endpoint and GarrettG, and of course, from the Pioneers' point of view, it's hard to fund a league if you can't find sponsors for it, but then again, maybe for example Psyonix should step in to help. Kovalo on Twitter had a great idea for a crowdfunding Rocket Pass, where a set amount of revenue would go to things such as prize pools and bubble and women's tournaments. This way Rocket League fans that want to support women's Rocket League can do so, and it wouldn't have to rely so heavily on sponsorships. As always, I'd like to hear what you guys think of this idea in the comments below. The item store got a bunch of new items last week, starting with the Esports store, which now includes goal explosions and banners for each of the 33 teams, including the 7 new teams added. GenG, Quadrant, Resolve, Solary, Tundra Esports, Ground Zero, and Endgame now also have their decals available for their fans. I mean, except GenG, who apparently now plays for Croatia. Psyonix also introduced the Golden Dominus to the item store for the first time. It's thankfully not available in the store anymore, as it left the item store on the 27th. If you didn't have time to get one, don't worry. I've got some gameplay footage filmed of it for you. But moving on to esports, and the RLCS has finally kicked off again, which is good because the community was about to implode in a couple weeks time without it. Over in Europe, just before the regional, we sadly heard that evil geniuses were leaving the game. Again, after missing the major last split. I mean, your decal was bad, but I didn't mean it literally. But to be fair, I don't think anyone was really mad at them, since it brought back this masterpiece of a team logo. Anyway, the tournament started off with a bang, as Team Vitality of all teams topped their group in Group A. And not only that, they beat Karmine Corp in the process. As soon as I go to France, you guys suddenly get good. I'm not trying to suggest anything, but I think this apartment in Paris looks really nice. G1 beat Moist to the top spot in Group B, with Solary getting eliminated. The new season of Keeping Up with the Solary is about to be real good. Team Liquid topped out Group C with their game differential, and in Group D, Guild got smacked around as Oxygen narrowly beat German Amigos with a superior total games won. Meanwhile, the current world champions placed third, which wasn't the last of their worries, as in the first playoff round, they faced their old arch-rival Moist, who then whooped them as if they hadn't just lost one of their star players, which means that BDS have missed the top 8 in the first regional of a split for the first time in org history, which also means that they will be competing in the closed qualifier next week for the first time as well. Well, this prediction looks really stupid now. I don't know if we've ever seen such a fall in performance so shortly after a world championship. However, they still have the talent. Monkey Moon has been one of the best performers still, so I wouldn't count them out yet. Other than Moist, teams that made it to the quarterfinals from the first round were Sonics, Karmine Corp, and German Amigos. German Amigos then kept their run going as they absolutely battered Liquid in 5 games, to which their coach Verge had a really strong reaction.
4-1 and move themselves on in the Winter Open.
Even after the timeout.
Did he turn into an Italian? Karmine Corp and G1 then played a series that included a game that some have even called the worst RLCS game of all time. Game 2 went scoreless into overtime after some pretty horrendous Rocket League. Then after almost 2 minutes of OT, the game ended with this beauty of a goal.
So we can really attack this air dribble, try and make something from it. The Vatira's touch is awkward, that's gonna let an atomic, and it's gonna be an own goal after all of this!
Oxygen then absolutely stomped Sonics after losing the first 2 games, and Team Vitality continued their run as they beat Moist in the last quarterfinal match. Hey, you guys aren't supposed to do that. Team Vitality then didn't hold back and beat Oxygen in Game 7 to make it to the grand final for the first time since Fall Regional 2 last season. And all this is just a tryout for who gets to play with Zen next split. In the other semifinal, German Amigos' amazing run came to an end as they got swept by Karmine Corp, who just made it to their 4th consecutive regional final. And so, it was time for Karmine Corp versus Vitality, the French against the French. And a Moroccan guy, the Baguette Derby. And the final lasted like 30 minutes because Casey just virtually roundhouse kicked these guys in the face. They barely even won the first game, and that was the EU regional. 4 final appearances in a row and 2 final wins for Karmine Corp. not bad. But moving on to sunny South America, where the Ninjas in Pyjamas team kept dominating with their new org as they topped their group 3-0 and then moved on to the playoffs where they lost immediately in Game 7 to Exceed. But hey, at least they did slightly better than the club. My theory is that they don't want to perform too well, so that they're not legally obligated to move to NA next season. Exceed then continued their Cinderella run as they beat yet another juggernaut of the region, Crew Esports, in the semifinals, but just like Vitality, their underdog run came to an end in the final after they received a battering from Team Secret. What happened to exciting finals? In Asia Pacific, we had another upset as the recently signed Elevate were knocked out by Detonator in the semifinals. If you're an aspiring Rocket League pro, just never sign for an org. It's the worst thing that could happen to you. Detonator then went on to win the final against Gladiators in Game 7. And then lastly, we of course had the Sub-Saharan Africa Regional, where Limitless went on a 21-game winning streak, sweeping every single match of the tournament. Just call it the Limitless Winter Invitational from now on. We of course had the qualifiers for the other regionals this week, with North America starting with its tiebreaker between Complexity, Furia and Optic, with the latter being dropped down to the closed qualifiers. Rizzo came back from retirement after the whole Alpha Boost ban fiasco last week. He streamed his team's qualifiers on his Twitch, getting some amazing clips like this.
I got a gun.
I'm cross, all the way across, all the way across. Nice. Ah!
No!
Okay, get regain.
Okay. I'll try to delay.
I'm back, you go. Oh shit.
It's all good. It's all good, guys. Hey, my bad.
The craziest thing though is that they got really close to qualifying. They even made it to the top 32 in the open qualifiers, where they did then get dropped out. Of course, they still would have had to make it through the closed qualifier, but still they were only like 5 wins away from the regional. These are the teams that ended up qualifying for the final tournament this weekend, with GarrettG from NRG explaining his plan to adjust to the current meta. He said that the game has evolved really fast and that he's trying to learn to play more aggressively while still playing smart to keep up with the pace of the current state of the game. He thinks NRG can perform well still. They've just had trouble keeping up with the aggressiveness of the newer players. As always, a link to the full clip will be included in the description. Moving on to Oceania, where these are the teams that have qualified for the Winter Open this weekend. And last but not least, in Middle East and North Africa, these are the teams that have qualified for their Winter Open, with Rule 1 looking to challenge the Falcons' #1 spot this split. And staying in the Middle East, the Gamers 8 tournament for 2023 was announced this week. Last year the tournament had a prize pool of $2 million, and this year they're apparently going to more than double it. In a couple years, the last place team will get rewarded $1 million just for showing up. In miscellaneous news, Dignitas sub Boston Scott has actually had a job this whole time playing for the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFL. And this week, after their win against the 49ers in the NFC Championship, he has now made it to the Super Bowl. What's even better is that after making it to the biggest game on the planet, if you're American, and that concert thing that happens at 3 AM if you're European, he still had time to watch Dignitas qualify for the regional. I think we know what team all of the Rocket League community will support on the 13th. But now it's time for a clip of the week, now in affiliation with NordVPN. Each week you guys submit your clips to the AntonTheKicker Discord. The top 5 are then voted on by the members and have a chance at winning 1000 credits. So if you want to submit your own clips or influence who makes the top 5 for one of these videos, you can do so on my Discord server, link in the description. But before we reveal the top 5, let's look at some honorable mentions. Ben scored this Ceiling Musty Psycho in a 1v1. Let's Get Wet got this double flip reset in a 1v1. SSaim scored this flip reset double tap off the corner in a competitive 3v3 match. Amiru was playing a 3v1 diamonds against the GC when he scored this pinch save in OT. And before we reveal the top 5, MasterFB scored this beautiful wall read in a 3v3. But now it's time to reveal the top 5. Like mentioned before, these were voted by the Discord members. Lost scored a double reset in a GC 1v1 match. vadyy scored this sidewall double tap in a 2v2. Moth hit this triple reset in his dad's car. whoknows scored this triple reset musty in a comp game. And last but not least, Jacob scored this. And that's the top 5. As always, there will be a YouTube poll in the channel. The person with the most votes after 24 hours wins 1000 credits. NordVPN gives you access to over 5400 servers across 60 different countries around the world. Can't watch your favorite Netflix show in your current location? Well, it only takes one click to change that. Look. Now I'm in Portugal. I myself have been using NordVPN for a while now, and I truly believe it's a great product, and that's why I've teamed up with NordVPN to get you a discount plus 1 month free on your 2-year plan. Just go to nordvpn.com/AntonTheKicker or use the link at the top of the description. A VPN is one of the essentials for any internet user these days, and using the link in the description would really help out the channel as well. But that's it for this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if the background looks a little weird, I'm currently visiting my dad's place and it's very late at night right now, so I can't be talking too loud at the house. So I've come to the basement. But you already know what time it is. We're gonna look at countries and stuff. And this week's comment is video 8 of asking New Zealand. I don't know what New Zealand is. So this week's comment is from, I'm joking. Thanks to Sir Techno, my guy. And right now we have 29.4 thousand subscribers, which in New Zealand is about the same as Timaru. It's between Timaru and Paraparaumu. Let's go check out Paraparaumu. Sounds like a fun place. Hey yo, I didn't know they have the White House. They have a Wendy's. So if you like Wendy's, you're all set. But thanks for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, share. Become a member. It's a great place. It's very fun. Follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. I'll see you guys later. What am I doing? I'll see you guys later. Bye.